Freedom becomes chaos when you lack the architecture to sustain it. Discipleship teaches men to command freedom through systematic design. So you have to first know, although you have all of the wealth, although you have all the money, although you have the structure within your life on a business level, that doesn't mean that you get to fuck off. And a lot of you will get into this position where you feel like you've built the structure and the systems to be able to now reap the things that you've sowed for however long that you've been sowing. First thing you have to come to understanding is that although, yes, money is flowing and opportunity and abundance are here, you must have a structure and a system to the way that you operate within your freedom. Freedom is only given to those that are disciplined. And just because you've built a structure into your business and a system into your business doesn't mean you just get to fuck off and forget this law. So the paradox of unstructured freedom. High performers confuse autonomy with architecture. Freedom without framework produces motion, not momentum. The wealthiest minds discover sovereignty requires system. Again, if you're looking to be free, based upon all of the things that you've garnished on a material standpoint, you have to have a structure and architecture that you abide by, laws that you give yourself to operate within. Because as abundance and as all of the flows of the feminine energy come into your life, if we already understand that the feminine energy is chaotic by nature, that means money, abundance, opportunity, when left unchecked without a disciplined structure to hold it, gives your entire life chaos. And the second you realize that is the second you will understand that if you leave this unchecked cash flow, unchecked opportunity, and unchecked abundance in your life, you will drown. You need discipline. You're going to do a shit ton of things that can derail the very structure that you've built outside of yourself. So you have to really look yourself in the mirror and understand, okay, cool. Here is the freedom that I've built for myself over the last decade, 2 decades, however long it took you to build. You have now all the opportunity and all the cash flow to live the life that you've always dreamt to have. Put parameters around the very freedom that we've just given ourselves so that we can have it for the long haul. What high performers usually do, you get into this position, and I've been there too, bro. You get in this position where now you feel you can fuck off and really enjoy life. And just splurge and do a lot of motion, as I said a second ago, flying here, going here, splurging here, having however many women here, buying shots for $250 a shot, right? And I've told the story a bazillion times. And you then give yourself no framework because you feel like just because your business is working correctly, that then leads into your personal life. No, it does not. You must understand that to be sovereign requires structure and a law book that you live by, regardless of the external material things that you have as leverage. Have to really understand that. And so the true liberation exists within self-designed constraints. Understand what you have and really give yourself the ability to halt, stay still, right? Understand energetically what's going on in your life. Because while you are abundant and while you are operating from a place of structure to keep that abundance flowing, you have to now decide, and delegate within your own identity personally. Am I operating in accordance to the very identity that I've set out to attain? Right? Because to have a business, and we've spoken about this before, you don't want to build your business based upon the validation and the perception of others upon you, because then you're only being a performative high performer. You're not performing in the basis of, okay, I'm going to build my business based upon the very values and abundance that I have within me. And therefore, as I build my business, I'm also being fulfilled. You are now just building because you want the vanity of people praising you because of what? The status and the power you may have from having all the money, but you're losing yourself at the same time. So as you get this freedom into your life, you must now add constraints so that you understand exactly what you will do and what you won't do. What are the energetic signatures that you're giving off as you make decisions? There are restraints that you have to self-implement every single day to make sure that you stay in line. Structure as sovereign technology. Billionaires, monks, and military commanders share one trait: ritualized excellence. Predictability you engineer equals freedom you command. Consistency compounds into competitive advantage, and the disciplined calendar reflects internal mastery. All of us must understand as high performers that the very thing that we deem as successful in our life, the thing that gave us our wealth, the thing that gave us the cash flow, the thing that even gave us some disciplines, right? And most of our lessons must be then ritualized within our personal life so that we never fall off the throne. right? You must be able to understand your structure, up, down, in, and out, left to right. You must understand it like the back of your hand, right? The very freedom that you are looking for is in the engineering of the schedule that you follow non-stop. And I said it to one of my students earlier today, which is there is no weekend for us. And you already understand that. There can't be any difference between the way that you operate as a businessman and the way that you operate in your personal life. They go hand in hand. Self-mastery begets business. And so the better you are at business, you have to start to look at your personal life and say, am I being as disciplined in my personal life as I am in my business? A disciplined calendar reflects the internal mastery. Internal mastery should flow, right? Flow into all realms of life. The way that you deal with women, the way that you deal with your money, the way that you deal with your relationships, the way that you deal with your business. No matter what realm you are in, you should be constant. Everything in your life should be congruent to a degree so that you never fall off. The implementation, designing lawful rhythm, architect your days with precision. Identical mornings create cognitive efficiency. Calendar as declaration of priority, empower, eliminate decision fatigue through strategic repetition. Rituals create space, chaos consumes it. So as you go out and you continue to live your life in the way that you want to live, create a schedule that you follow, and then guess what? Your mind and your body then have something called muscle memory. You will follow that routine every single day, no matter where you are on the planet. Right? And when you can have these rituals set in place so that your body never forgets and your mind doesn't forget, it doesn't matter who you put, right? It doesn't matter who you put in your orbit. You will follow through what you know you must, because it's the very thing that keeps your freedom intact. I think freedom is this very funny thing that successful folk have a hard time getting a grip on. It's just because you've gained the success doesn't mean that you're free. And that's a different conversation where you might be backed by money that isn't free. You might be backed by relationships that aren't free, right? But if you're building from a sovereign standpoint, you've bootstrapped it, you've made your money, and you're living the life that you want to live, but now you must focus on yourself. Now is the true time to see what's still feeding me to be tethered to a timeline that I don't want to be in, right? And timelines can exist in different parts of your life and keep you stuck. You have to cut all tethers to fully adopt the new identity that you want. Outside of business, put your business aside. Look at your personal life. How are you dealing with women? How are you talking to yourself on a day-to-day basis? How are you dealing with your business associates? How do you show up to strangers? Is your network okay, or is it just tethered by relations based upon business? Do people even understand who you are? Are you hiding from yourself? What pieces of your shadow could give you power that you're not acknowledging? All of these things give you the lawful rhythm, so to say, of implementing a structure that not only gives you the understanding of discipline, but gives you power, right? Do not run from your shadow as you continue to build this freedom in your life and structure or systemize it. Bring back in the shadows, because that freedom, you're going to have time to do what you want to do. You're going to have time to go talk to women. You're going to have time to fuck off with your business associates. You're going to have time to go do the things that your heart's desire, but you have to have full control. And while you have full control, do not allow the environment to persuade you to not have control. A lot of men don't have people who can really keep them accountable, right? Keep them accountable to the identity that they said they were, right? And so that's exactly what this should do, is kind of give you that kick in the ass to understand that, yes, while you are successful, you still have work to do. The work never finishes. Then don't think that, oh, just because you've gotten the money that you wanted, you built a little structure, you might have the body, the girl, the children, and the rhythmic flow of cash flow in your life through business, that you can't refine yourself a bit more, right? We all can use a bit of refinement. And so join discipleship, where systematic design replaces scattered efforts, and your closing decree. Structure isn't restriction, it's sovereignty made visible. Consider yourself warned.